emphatically that this board does not have a transfer policy. That is not the truth. I went back and looked at the policy manual myself because I wanted to know. I couldn't see how we would have put a policy manual together and not have a transfer. We do have a transfer policy. Mr. Senator, I'd like to say, make another statement here. In the future, and I wanted this to be known now because as long as I'm on this board, whenever a principal brings an employee to the board for termination, we need to know and we need to see where that principal has tried everything possible to make that employee be an effective employee. Because you see, the tenure people give, there's a reason for having 3 years to make tenure. So if a beginning teacher coming right out of the classroom, they don't know what a person getting that 30 years. So it is the principal's responsibility to work with that person. Not just sit down and criticize, but work and make a constructive suggestion to help that person strength, weakness becomes strength. So I'm gonna, and somewhere down the line, Mr. Superintendent, you might need to get with your principals and draw up an instrument, since we can't use the PEPI for termination, draw up an instrument, an evaluation instrument that does not lend itself to termination, but constructive suggestion and criticism. We have to do something about that. We just have to. We can't just go by classrooms and say, oh, well, they aren't doing anything, we're going to fire them next year. No, you can't do that. I mean, you messing a person's life up, you've done a lot of things for the person. So that we may just need an instrument that's aside from PEPI to help the person progress. We have to do that. We don't have a right to mess people's lives up simply because we have control, we have the authority to do so. We don't have a right to do that. All persons in favor, let me know by show of hands, please. Unanimous. Adopt the resolution, federal program. The same recommendation.
I recommend that the board adopt the following resolution. Board resolution, reduction in state, local funds. Whereas the Washington County Board of Education allocates teacher units and classroom instructional support funds to schools based on state and local revenue. And whereas the Washington County Board of Education state funds have been reduced for fiscal year 2010 as documented on fiscal year 2010 Foundation Program Final System Allocation Report produced by the Alabama State Department of Education. And whereas the availability of Washington County Board of Education local funds has been reduced due to an increase in required matching for foundation program and due to a reduction in foundation program funding, therefore be it resolved that due to the reduction of state and local funding for fiscal year 2010, the Washington County Board of Education will utilize federal funds, specifically AARA Title I and AARA IDEA funds to supplement personnel costs and classroom instructional support costs not covered under state and local funds.
You have the definition of that later. You heard the recommendation. You heard the recommendation. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Ms. Beach makes the motion. Is there a second? Mr. D second. Discussion.
What this means.
All the cuts and we know we got cuts.
This is like we can transport stuff, right?
Well, I tell you what, I may actually defer this to Rhonda just a second. She worked totally on this right here. But basically, well, I heard Dr. Wade working on this, but basically what this is doing is following the federal guidelines to allow us to pay some things out of these AARA funds that we have been in the past paying out of state and local funds.
It goes back to the supplement, not supplant, and that you can't use federal funds for what you would normally use state and local funds for. So they gave us the guidelines that in order to use the stimulus money for this, we had to take board action and adopt a resolution. And then you'll notice the next few items on the agenda are the actual action steps that follow this resolution. So in order to do that, we had to have it in the minutes that our funds have been reduced, that we are not supplanting, that we are actually picking up because we have no funds. So
This stimulus money been a nightmare.
it is not over yet. It's not over.
I listen to the news, I read the paper, it just,
The paperwork's only begun.
it
We just had to have a resolution for
At
what we're
least I know
gonna
where
do.
it's coming from.
It
That this is stimulus money.
is.
We couldn't do any transfers or anything until the resolution is adopted, though.
all persons in favor, let it be
It's
known
gonna
by
be
show.
positive, I hope.
You don't have any money, so they have to, the road check it out. Unanimous, Mr. Secretary. Transfer personnel costs to federal program. That is our recommendation.
Due to the reduction of state and local funds, I recommend that the board move the following personnel costs from foundation program to Title I ARRA, which is American Recovery and Reinvestment Act Fund, from 1.25 FTE McIntosh Elementary School, number 2.25 FTE Brookdale High School.
That's it.
You heard the recommendation, is there a motion? Let's get it on the floor.
I'll make it.
Ms. Peak makes the motion. Second.
I'll say.
Mr. Baker, second. Discussion.
He said it's supposed to be in there.
Okay, that is where with two schools that were over the one, and in our Federal Programs Advisory Committee, they agreed to use up to 0.25 of their money for that. That's addressing this.
But it's not in this package, is it?
No, there's nothing to,
We didn't put the school
Okay.
numbers in those packages, but now, when we get through with this meeting today, we still got a few names to change. I'm gonna get y'all a copy of that, and now, since the board has approved, or will hopefully approve this, we'll go ahead and make that adjustment so that it will be within the parameters with which we are working to get
And
compliant.
because they're school-wide schools, it's 0.25 of a teacher. It's not necessarily Jane Doe.
Right.
It's just one of their units will be 0.25.
That's the same thing we've talked about.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
You know, if we have to go to jail, all of us gonna say the same thing. So we depend on you.
And we're gonna drag some State Department people with us.
Yeah.
That's all I'm telling you, son. We gonna go back and say,
We can do this.
Yeah.
all right, that's all right. All in favor, let it be known by show of hands.
I'm not going to.
I'm not going, I'm 66 years old, so I can't, I'm too old. Transfer personnel costs to federal program. Is that, Ms. Sanders, I recommend.